Hello everybody, and finally welcome to the Grand Touring Amateur League 2010 here from Fern Gold. We really do apologise for the absolutely massive technical difficulties we've had up to now. We have been in red flag conditions, and we've timed it perfectly actually, because here we are about to go green once again. On the first opportunity to try and start, we had a massive big pile up in turn 1, cars upside down, the lot. And a massive amount of time just going there as soon as we start readying up. That's and the red flag comes out once again while we wait for these to reconnect. Oh no, they're going to start off the back. Rather so. There we go. So anyway, we're about to go green and start this 3 hours of Fern Gold. Chris Wilkinson here in the commentary box. Thilo, Thilo Falkenberg and Dennis Lind will join me in the commentary box today. And Dennis, you're a very experienced driver in Live for Speed. How do you think the race is going to go today?
Well, I've been sitting around in the server for 2 days straight almost now, and I've seen people really practicing a lot for this race. So I think we have some very good racing coming up, and we have an FXR in the pole, so that's something new at least. And well, it's going to be good, I think.
Yep, well, we can hope as everybody's readied up. Joseph Ellis, our pace car, sits on the front row of the grid, and we will await him leading the field around for the first of the 2 pace car laps. So Joseph Ellis pulls away, and we will go through the grid now, and it's Gravity Racing on the pole. Seb Hutchinson for Sonic Realms in second, Randy Young for Something Awful in third, Mike Sadle and Clockwork in fourth. They had a very good run early on at West Hill. Excite LRT are in 5th place. Tommy Osgard moves to Core Racing, and Core Racing renamed to Legends Racing Team just today. So Legends Racing Team starting 6th. Who is that in 7th? GI Racing are in 7th. In the XR, Snowguard Dragons are in 8th. 9th goes to Stephen Piston, and Simon Cattell for Epic Racing starts in 10th place. And all the people rejoining the server after timing out now come into the server, and we'll start from the pit lane. Parapo of Maximum Racing, who missed qualifying, will also start from the pit lane, and now everybody's being asked to form the grid up to double file. So then our pole sitter Gahama choosing the right hand side of the grid to start. Seb Hutchinson will form on his outside as we come through the final few corners. Nyon getting onto the pit straight now. And Gahama holding the pace. Gahama has the pace. We await the green flag, which comes out around about now when we go green here at Falkenberg for the 3 hours of Falkenberg GTL 2010 round 5. And look at Randy Young down the inside. Sadle's made the leap on him though. Not a good start from him. Seb Hutchinson trying to go around the outside of Gahama. That's not worked well. Tommy Osgard up to 4th place. Is it clean in the back? No, it's not. Rosmelin, big huddle of cars there off in the grass in turn 1. All get back running, everybody on the wheel. Gahama leads coming out of turn 1. Tommy Osgard up to 2nd. battling away with Seb Hutchinson, who's made the place up. So Legends Racing Team already up to second. Sadel and Geist in that group going side by side there. Sadel holding on to the 5th place, but only just Simon Cattell up to 7th place as well. Tommy Osgaard, really the big winner now, and he's really starting to get on the back of Gahama's car. The FXR qualified on pole, but he's quickly being eaten up by these two FZRs of Tommy Osgaard and Seb Hutchinson. Randy Young also still on that train as well, and they're doing very, very well, starting to pull away from the field. Mike Sadel really holding up Geist now, and Geist is in the wall. That'll also mean that he might fall into the clutches of Simon Cattell. He doesn't. Gahama goes fastest on the first lap of the race, quite surprisingly, as he was getting caught up by Tommy Osgaard, but never mind. GI Racing really holding people up as well. That's Heiskinen at the wheel of that XRR, and there's a lot of cars really getting stuck behind. Somebody was on the grass earlier, I think it was Cone Dodge's racing team in Slocum in that car, ended up on the grass on the outside of turn number 2, just going, GI Racing just going too slowly on that XRR. Schmidt for Raptor Racing behind Sepam as well. Jim Peace down to the inside of Tyen. That didn't, oh no, to Slocum, sorry, he makes that place up. Fighting through the grid now for Ministry of Speed. Nearing 3 wide there, coming into that corner. Everybody just getting gaggled up by a mistake from Jared. James Peace already on the back of Tyen. Tommy Osgaard goes fastest. Let's watch with James Peace still though, as he's going to be in the slipstream for Tyen and LLM, and he's going to go right down the inside into turn 1. He's going to take the place, and he moves up to 17th place for Ministry of Speed. And also Raptor Racing managed to squeeze away past GI Racing, and Sepam for EER wants to follow. Let's go back to the lead. A few cars now, as Gahama really is now being closed down by Legends Racing teams. Tommy Osgaard, Randy Young behind in 4th place, also being caught by Sadel of Clockwork Motorsports. Snowguard Dragon starting to pull away from Simon Cattell of Epic Racing. The rest of that catching on to that group. Then there's quite a big gap back to 9th place in Excite Lubbock. Oh, and Slocum is off, causing a yellow flag in Sector 2. Let's go and have a look at him. Also, big gaggle of cars around the very controversial getting into this race. Casper Runes. Slocum times out of the server. Casper Runes with a massive train of cars. He's got Abernethy, he's got Thubar, Malin and Craven going side by side behind, and Dobby Engel going to make it 3 wide coming into turn number 1. Will that work? It can't work. It does somehow. Craven holds on to it. Engel's going to try and claw his way around the outside of Malin. He doesn't, and he loses out to Bankhauser.
And we just had the 7-car team having a bit of a schmuck, and the TRT cars going on the roof, coming through the fast right-hander.
Yes, TDRT is on its roof, white upside down, and that's going to be in safety car very early on, 7 minutes into the race. 5 laps, and we have our first safety car of the day.
There was a big race for 9th position going on there with a 7-car car. And hold on, and yeah, Raptor was trying to get up to 9th position, and everybody just pretty much banged together, and yeah, and the TDRT car seemed to hit the grass bank on the inside of that fast right-hander going onto the bridge, and that flipped his car over, sadly.
Yeah, but it's quite an often occurrence to see people flipping over at this track. The chicane in turn 2, hitting that wall as well, like near that place as well, as another big one. There's also very late on in the lap another place that is rather often that you see cars upside down. Craven in the pits now. For WWR, so he will come out quite down the field. Oh, and there's a problem in the safety car here. James Peace is facing the wrong way. Casper Runas was involved in that as well. And something has happened in the safety car. We'll have to get that checked and get the admin team looking at that one shortly. But there was a rather large cluster of cars backwards or facing the wrong way or having problems there in the middle of the safety car period. You really don't want to have that in a race. It's quite an often occurrence in Need for Speed, though, isn't it, Dennis?
Yeah, it's pretty much people coming in too fast into the safety car stage of pretty much a group of people just slamming into each other, and well, that's just impatient is playing a role here, I think.
So then the message comes out that we will go one lap to green at the line. So Gahama still leads Legends Racing Team up to second. Seb Hutchinson dropping down to third for Sonic Realms. Fourth is still something awful, but he'll probably be eaten up by the car of Mike Sadel, who's behind him in the XRR. Pit exit now opens as the train passes. So Joseph Ellis is being given the mark to accelerate away from the field. And Gahama now controls the pace. We'll wait for the green flag to wave, which is probably on the pit straight. No overtaking before the line on the restarts to each race. So Gahama will hold the field at least until the start-finish line. Now come through the penultimate set of corners into the final complex. He gives it the guns rather early as well. The green flag flies, and that's a really good restart from Gahama. Randy Young maybe looking to overtake Seb Hutchinson.
Excite Racing is off in the back.
Yep, Excite off without even getting to the without even getting to the green flag. There's somebody else wildly spinning. Frank Bankhauser.
And we got a car stuck in the sand. That is Heiskanen in the JI Racing. Am I correct?
Yep, JI Racing stuck in the gravel. That's Heiskanen, and this will be another safety car on the same lap that we went green. He's not going to get out of there. The safety car is out.
And the number 15, Bernice Span.
Dominic Engel was also off for a moment earlier on for Tiger Express Motorsports, down to 26th place. But Gahama holds his lead. Tommy Osgard for Legends Racing Team is second. Sonic Realms Racing third. And Something Awful holds fourth with Clockwork in fifth. Top five as we are on the second safety car of the day, only lap 7.
Whoa.
Lap 8 rather.
Already 2 cautions, but we're not here in Kyoto. Please remind that we're at Fern Bay.
Well, it has been quite a while since anybody in Lift the Speed commentated on a race that wasn't at Kyoto. We had the big massive endurance, followed by Kyoto qualifying day, followed by Kyoto itself, and Paroppo for Maximum Racing, the Brazilian team. We all know about Brazilians for their lag, and he has in fact timed out of the server, had to start from the pit lane, so they're going to be a long way back behind already.
And it's already his second time out during this race. And this race is only nearly 14 minutes old.
Yeah, only 14 minutes gone in this race, and we're already on our second caution. The car's weaving away.
Another thing is, if after this link of cautions, there is, I know that the XR is going to have very, very cold tires coming off when it's green again. So we'll see how that goes. But if they're allowed to warm up tires, they should do that, really, because I'm looking at some of the drivers' tires, and they are on its way to very dark blue. When looking at the FCR tires, they are better than the state that the XR tires are in right now.
Yeah, well, the message comes out that we'll go green on the next lap, so Gahama will, at this point in the next lap, control the pace properly anyway.
An interesting command to the race administration just told Gahama that he should go faster on this safety car period.
Yeah, we were just lagging off the back of the safety car a bit, so he's being told to catch on to the back of him. Tommy Osgard is in second, and he'll want the jump on Gahama. I don't think he'll get it. That's a very it's a very nice, that's a nice car. Gahama will make that car very, very wide after the restart, I would gather. I think Tommy Osgard will end up getting him eventually, but it'll not be Gahama will do his best to keep him behind for a long time. And don't rule out the fact that Mike Sadel and Randy Young may also be able to capitalise on Seb Hutchinson, but the safety car in this lap board comes in, is shown. So the safety car should be pulling away roundabout. Now Gahama should be dropping the pace back. Joseph Ellis, so safety car pulls on the inside of the track. Gahama holds the field to a steady pace. Quite big gaps further back. They should all be formed by the time we get onto the pit straight, though. Gahama takes us wide through the last few corners, then guns it. So we will go, we wait for the green flag, but Gahama has gunned the throttle. Green flag comes out now, means nothing really, seeing as Gahama's already put his foot down. And Mike Sale already on the defensive there in 5th place from Geis of Snowguard Dragons. Around the outside, he can't find the way past Geis. He's going to try and cut back, and he does it very well. Sadel's turbo lag really not helping him there. He loses the 5th place in this race.
Hutchinson and Tommy Oscar is also having a battle right now. Hutchinson tried the outside going through turn 1, that didn't really work out, and there's a bit of a gap working it up right now, but he was right up there behind Tommy in the start.
Yeah, meanwhile, probably an exciting driver to take our eye on now is James Peace as he comes down the inside of Fubal Racing. He just made a mistake there coming onto the bridge, so he retakes that place. Andy Kirchdorfer as well, Andy Fruitcake as we all like to call him in the world of iRacing, going down the inside of Abernethy and taking that place as well. So Abernethy just falling backwards. Maybe even Craven might be able to take the place. Case Daughter has him on the outside. No, he doesn't. Abernethy has to back off. And James Peace already on the back of Jarl Tyen, and they make contact coming through the left-handed. Tyen dropping back as well. Tyen also now in the clutches of Andy Kirchdorf, and Andy's going to come to the inside of him. So they're going to be side by side in turn number 1. This really doesn't, we've seen this quite a lot already in this very short up to now race, but Tyen holding his own around the outside. If he can hold it along the outside, he'll have the inside for the chicane, but he can't do that. He has to drop behind Andy Kirchdorf. Casper Innes gets a drive-through penalty for that incident we saw in the safety car. And Abernethy spins through the chicane. He's back on. Nobody collect him except Neely Brosica. Neely collected. And now James Peace challenges the back of Casper Innes, who has a drive-through penalty. James Peace goes to the inside.
Someone's spinning.
That was Jarl Tyen. He's back on. Like Sadel dancing all over the back of Randy Young. We expected this to happen earlier on after the safety car, but it's happening now. Sadel's going to move to the inside unless Randy Young chooses to defend, which he doesn't do so. So Sadel will have the inside line coming in at turn 1. Side by side. Good lap from Mike Sadel as well. Not as fast as Tommy Osgard, who just sets the fastest lap, but he takes 5th place. Randy Young and Something Awful drop to 6th. And he may even fall into the clutches of Simon Cattell behind for Epic Racing. Good run out for them up to now. Good qualifying position as well. Vincent Lombardi as well being off in the chicane. He's falling back.
And Tommy Oscar slightly pulls closest the gap to Gehammer in the FXR, so we might see a battle for first here in not so awful much time. And we have Hodgkinson in the Sonic Wilms Racing car right behind them, and also catching up to Tommy Oscar, so it might be a three-way battle for the first position. And new fastest lap from Hutchinson.
Yep, Seb really giving it the beans now. You can see he's visibly closer to Tommy Osgard. We're riding on board with Tommy at the moment, looking at Gehammer's car. And he's not really making much headway. Seb Hutchinson making more headway on Tommy Osgard than Tommy is on Gehammer.
Oh, Tommy almost loses it, and that allows Hutchinson to go to the outside, coming down to the left-hander, coming off the bridge, and they make contact going into the braking zone, and Hutchinson makes a very, very brave and good move around the outside of Tommy.
Yep, meanwhile we'll move away from there. Staskovicius squeezes James Peace into the wall. Staskovicius does survive, so does James Peace, but my god, that was... James Peace looked for a gap that really wasn't there, and Staskovicius just closed in on it. Nearly turned him round. We're battling away with Lombardi and shit, and Sepam as well ahead, but that was a very scary moment for James Peace, and he probably needs some new underpants. Meanwhile, this train for Schmidt, James Peace diving to the inside of Staskovicius again, so James Peace finally getting past, but oh, that was inappropriate driving for the both of them. James Peace for looking at the gap that really wasn't there, and Staskovicius for turning in straight on the nose, but James Peace really didn't have the right to the line, so I suppose it is really his fault legally. Schmidt still holding his own at the front of this, bunching them all up. And Seb Hutchinson's managed to pass Tommy Oscar for second place.
We might as well call James Peace's next victim CPAM of the Estonian endurance races, same car, as he is catching up pretty fast to those guys.
Abernethy spinning away like a Beyblade, if anyone remembers them. I just came up with that word in my head and I thought it would sound rather nice. So yes, Abernethy spinning around like a Beyblade on the bridge section.
Beyblade.
Get that if you weren't born in the 90s. Anyway, Schmidt being attacked by Lombard. And Lombardi having to look to the outside. Schmidt defending the inside line. Can he hold it around the outside? Can he cut back? No, he can't. Schmidt holding his line very ferociously. Nobody getting down there anywhere. And all this is doing is holding up the rest of the pack. Yep, James Peace going to the inside of Sepp. So James Peace and Sepam side by side. Oh, Sepam over the grass, holding on to the position. James Peace is now in a really bad position because he's got the slipstream. He's going to be on the grass there on the bridge. Now Staskevicius is going to be able to come back to him. Now will James Peace repeat the move that Staskevicius put on him? No, he won't. Staskevicius moving to the outside. James Peace really holding that inside line. Staskevicius can't get his nose anywhere near though, so James Peace will hold on to the position, but he's still chasing away at Sepam. Bit of a loss there for him, but and Sepam actually as Lombardi and Schmidt get away from these three after that skirmish, but they're all still on the road and still progressing forward, so that's always a plus side for them. Oh, Lombardi hit Schmidt! Oh, and so does James Peace and Sepam come together. We're looking at Chris Ford for some strange reason. Sepam finally rejoining. We're sorry we might have missed that. Not 100% sure if we actually did miss that or not. But yeah, big contact between Schmidt, Lombard, and oh, and he gave start a spin. James Peace trying to capitalise on that, going straight through the tyres as well. Bankhouse is going to get through as well. Bankhouse is a lot quicker than James Peace. James Peace, after hitting the tyres, is really down on speed coming through this section. Camera problem. Decided to run away from me, but that's all back in control as Bankhouse is falling away from James Peace. Andy Cage's daughter isn't fast enough to hold on to him. We've got Paroppo on the back of Craven, really challenging. He goes to the inside, and Craven shuts the door. No way through for that. Tommy Oscar now challenging Gahama for the lead of this race.
Oscar's being 0.2 of a second faster than Gahama, but Hutchinson also being 0.3 of a second faster than Gahama. So this group closes up quite a bit per lap.
Yeah, well, Tom. 2/10 quicker in that split. Now he's right on the back bumper. get a hammer. Will he look to make a move? No, he won't.
Hutchinson on the fast lap as well now, setting a new fastest lap of 1:16.7, which is a very good time for the time span in this race already. So he's on good form, catching up to Tommy Oscar, who did his own fastest lap this lap as well, 1:16.96.
Yeah, meanwhile in the back, Bauer has taken the place off Lombardi for 11th, Staska Vicious for Deadline Racing in the pit. Sepam dancing all over the back of Andy Kirchdotter's car as well. That's RSR versus Sepam for 15th and 16th. Runas takes over from Staska Vicious as Sepam has a very big slide on in that previous corner. But now we have the battle for the lead really hotting up. Gahama falling at the clutches of Tommy Oscar, but as soon as he gets to this tight and twisty bit, the four-wheel drive really does help when it kicks in, and he pulls away from Tommy Oscar. He's only really in the faster sections of the track that Tommy does close back up.
And a personal best from Tommy Oscar coming in this lap, which was 1:16.78, but Hutchinson managed to get the fastest lap as well, again this lap, so he's really on the move. He's trying to get that lead for sure.
Yep, Seb Hutchinson of Sonic Realms Racing is really on a charge today. He's up in third, still faster than Tommy Oscar, and get a hammer ahead of him. We're riding on board with him now as they come on over the bridge, sorry. And look, Tommy Osgard now, he's closed up to the back. Seb Hutchinson makes a mistake, drops a wheel. But Tommy Osgard now, there he's caught up to him, and now he's already gone. Oh, and was that a bit of a understeer, drop a wheel? Problem there for Tommy Osgard.
Yeah, he just clipped the grass on the outside of that corner, which is happening all the time pretty much from drivers, because you have to put so much pressure on the car going through that corner. So it's really easy to put one or two tires in the grass there, so that's just caused you to understeer the rest of the way in that left-hander.
Yeah, well, that's meant that Seb Hutchinson is now only 0.3 of a second behind Tommy Osgard. Tommy Osgard pulls, drops back over a second behind Gahama, but Seb Hutchinson going too hot on the exit of turn 1, drops back off Tommy Osgard, who will now compete to try and gather the back of Gahama once again. And we've got the two of the slower teams here in the GTAL Sim Racing Lithuania team finally got it out, and Tormala of GI Racing, and they're having a battle. Casper Innes and Tormala looking to the inside now as they come into turn 1 in the XRR. He goes down the inside, braking. Casper Innes misses his braking point. We've got Moroz off in the chicane, somebody else off with him as well. Safety car is out. Moroz. Is it Moroz upside down? Who's upside? What's happened? Moroz is upside down. Moroz is upside down. And we have our third safety car of the day. So Gahama will restart the race once again in a couple of laps. Still as leader, but Tommy Osgard was very close to him there at the end of the stint. This is only going to help Tommy Osgard because he's going to maybe able to even mount a challenge into turn 1.
Some guys honking at Moroz, who's lying there upside down. Possibly not the fairest move. and I'm glad everyone until now has read the administration chat that the cars have to stay on the left side after the chicane.
And all these safety car periods might actually play a big role in the team strategies, because they might be able to stretch the stints quite a while, since they have pretty much used not much tires that you would actually do on a full speed run of 23 laps so far. And yeah, they might have a lot of fuel left as well as tires, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, Gahama finally makes his way onto the back of the safety car. It was a bit late when the safety car came out in their in Gravity Racing's lap for Joseph Ellis to pick them up. But the pit exit reopens as all the crowd has gone past. They passed the stricken car of Moroz.
And they are going left and right around Moroz. I don't know why they did that, because they had a clear message saying go to the left after the chicane.
Yep, Casper Runes. Very strange parking methods for Casper Runes in the pit lane. Look at the angle of that. That is terrific. That has brightened my day. And also a bit of a bit more little fun there. If you can see, I don't know whether you can or not with the camera angle, but if you look at the back of Brusicker's car for cone dodges, look at the back of that car. That is a very mangled rear end of the car. No massive amount of suspension damage. It's all merely cosmetic, but ouch.
And Casperina spun at the turn 1 after the pit stop.
Oh, James P spins! James P spins! On the safety car! Losing 2 places there to Bankhauser and Seppa. I'm very lucky I was tapping through the field there. I just saw the Ministry of Speed car was sideways coming into the chicane, and he loses 2 places on the safety car. Bit of front right damage on the on that car, on the suspension. The wishbone's not looking too healthy. Neither is the clutch temperature, actually quite a high clutch temperature.
Big relapping now begins.
The 03 car of Excite Lublin will seemingly get his lap back. Yes, he will. Oh, but he spins! He spins! Oh my good God, he has in fact spun it. I'm trying to find him. I can't find him on my list. Back there he is. Oh, he spun!
Several other cars spun, 30 then Engel spun just, and there is the car of Mellon also in the wrong direction. I would love to know what happened there. Both cars now turning round.
Yeah, Melon and Eng. Oh my good lord. So then, if you're just joining us here at the GTA, we've got a lot of cars as if they're going on an ice rink. They're not actually on an ice rink, they're on this thing that's called a racetrack, although it's not really showing the dynamics of that, or the driver's just showing dynamics of Egypt. But 03 will get a second attempt at going around the field for his lucky dog pass.
Side LRT just made it around.
Oh, you're on the grass! You're driving on the grass in the safety car period. There's really some very slack driving is the only thing I can call it here under safety car.
Well, regarding what's happening today, I would also call it unique.
Unique. So Gahama putting the last bit of trying to ooze some more temperature into those tyres, really just giving them a nice weave. Joseph Ellis, our safety car, pulls into the little offal that he's got there. Oh, Gabawa on the grass, coming into that turn. I just saw him in the background of my picture and screamed to death. Gahama holds the pace now. When will he go? He goes now. Not such a good start now, though. Tommy Osgard will probably be able to mount a challenge. Yes, he will. Gahama's going to have to defend coming at turn 1. Seb Hutchinson probably not close enough to get the draft from Tommy Osgard. But Tommy is going to look to the outside. Gahama sees this move to the outside himself. So Gahama still holding the position. Tommy Osgard having to back out of the throttle to stay off the back of hitting Gahama. And as they all come into the chicane now, will it stay clean? Please stay clean. Across the grass and Sadel being backed up by the... Oh, Randy Young is up! Randy Young is up big style! Big contact on the wall for Randy Young. He's going to drop a lot of places, but he hasn't got too much damage. He should be okay to continue. James Peace going down the inside of Bankhauser there as well, we saw in the front of our picture. Simon Cattell being passed by Gabawa. Casper Runas is off. Tommy Osgard still, however, not being able to challenge the lead.
James Peace has made his way up to 11th place now, just passing Schmidt in the Raptor gaming car.
Yep, James Peace really is on a charge. One of the few cars in this grid on R3 tyres. You got a nice look at Chris Ford's rescue car there accidentally. I do apologise for that. I am not really on to. Oh, and Tyan and Tomala and Runas, all very grassy. And what's happening there? What's happening with Runas and Tomala? They're stopping on the exit of the first corner. Oh, and Sepam is off at the bridge. James Peace going past Lombardi, and Lombardi now also being caught very nicely by Schmidt as we go to Chris Ford again accidentally. And Sepam holding a big train of Tomler and Runas. And once again, we do apologise for everybody having him look crestfallen. We all know he's quite attractive, and he's got quite an attractive car, but we don't really be watching it when we've got racing going on, so we do apologise for that. But big train from Sepam and Tomler and Runas, and that all seems to have spaced out again, but there was a bit of contact between Tomler and Runas. Back up for the lead, Tommy Osgaard still not being able to catch enough on Gahama to be thinking about making a move. Seb Hutchinson still floating around waiting for these two to start kicking off and to take advantage of them. Tommy Osgaard sets a new PB. He really is pushing. Seb Hutchinson goes faster still than he went earlier. I mean, we all expect the pace to come to start to speed up when the fuel and tyres start burning away, but not that fast. So Seb Hutchinson really is pushing like mad. So is Tommy Osgaard. He's never gone this fast before. And Gahama, well, Gahama's just falling backwards.
And Tommy Osgaard is in his slipstream, I think. No, he's not. He's tail Spain.
Right,
but he is very
tail
close.
end. Yeah, he probably at the tail end of the slipstream, but he just couldn't convert it in time for that corner in particular. No real long straights here at Falkenberg, just a lot of twisty corners here. A lot of third and second gear corners here. Casper Runas is off big start of the bridge. Casper Runas flying. I think so anyway, he was spinning around like a...
Fuber Racing and some racing with Lithuania there. Might have been contact.
Yep, I think there was. I'm not 100% sure about that, but both of them spinning wildly at the bridge. We sort of missed the spins in just reaction time from me, but... Iskra as well, challenging Gabauer in the FXR for M7 carriage for 6th place, and also Iskra with an incorrect number plate. I don't think anyone's noticed that yet, but he has an incorrect number plate.
Kasperiunas upside down! Kasperiunas upside down!
Kasperiunas upside down! Safety car!
He's out of track.
He's off the track. He's fallen off the world. We're gonna stay green by the looks of things because he's fallen off the world.
And there must have been contact with Abernathy because I've seen him spinning too. In this.
Just when you think you've seen everything, Sim Racing Lithuania team falls off the world. Fastest lap for Bauer in the FXR of 7 Karat. He's really pushing away now, rather obviously. He's down in 6th place, trying to get away from Iskra with the incorrect number plate that apparently was caught on by the admin staff, but they, as soon as they were about to give a drive-through penalty, somebody rolled, which happens quite often nowadays, so I don't know.
There's 3 up in front now, very close together. Only separated by a tenth from first to third.
Yep, Tommy Osgaard is not able to catch on to Gahama at the right time, and he's being caught up with. Tommy Osgaard goes faster still. He's gone faster than Seb Hutchinson, I think, has gone up to now. 1:16.56. Seb Hutchinson backing off, losing them, not backing off, rather, losing out there. through the chicane and through turn 1. Gahama still being closed up on by Tommy Oscar. How long will it take Tommy though to get onto the back of him? Well, he's very close now. Runas has spectated. Gahama now holds the inside. Tommy Oscar comes to the outside through the left-hander. They're side by side. Tommy Oscar and Legends Racing Team takes the lead. Now can Seb Hutchinson take off Gahama as well?
Hutchinson stays behind Gahama. I think he's not willing to start a move already. Oscar now got slightly away from this.
Dice sets a new fastest PB for himself that is 3/10 faster than his old PB, and he sets a fastest lap of the race as well.
Snogart in 4th position. They're also closing up to the lead battle.
Tommy is pulling away pretty fast now. He's on a very quick lap, I think. He's probably going to set a new fastest lap, and no.
He's even slower than in his last lap. But definitely faster than Gahama. He now really has to look into his mirrors. He was lucky that Hutchinson did a mistake in the lap earlier. And again a mistake by Hutchinson, going too wide into the 90-degree corner after the bridge straight.
Yeah, big mistake for Seb Hutchinson. Actually, he's lost a lot of time.
Yeah, and actually, he's done now 2 mistakes in 3 laps. Not the best, well, the best quote. Lombardi versus Young. Young from Something Awful and this yellow, violet, green car. And trying to go around the outside into turn 1. It doesn't seem he can make the move stick on the outside, still has the momentum and goes as first car into the chicane. Now on 11th place. Nice move there by Young. Wouldn't have thought he would make it stick on this short straight between turn 1 and the chicane. Lombardi goes wide, so does Kirchtorte. So this makes Schmidt going into the 8th position for Raptor Gaming, who's now chasing Young and already being 0.3 of a second faster after 2 splits. He might already dream about a move at the end of the
And Gas goes into the grass, so to interrupt, he's going into the grass right after turn 1, and he was sticking out there for quite a while, which is causing Mike Seidel to catch up to him marginally right now.
Yep, he has dropped back into the clutches of Seidel, and also gives that lets Wilkinson have a sigh of relief, and probably a drink of some sort of refreshing beverage as well, as he'd be quite confident of not losing third place to Geis now. And Geis will be really under pressure from the car of Mike Seidel. He knows Mike Seidel can be quick. Excuse me, he knows the concept racing, clockwork racing can be quick. And look at Seidel now. Excuse me, I do have the hiccups down. Seidel not looking the inside. I expect he would have.
Karat now knocking on the doors to Clockwork. Clockwork tries to break the slipstream, going to the inside, defending the inside line, but as we've seen just moments ago, the outside line might work, and so with 2 tires in the air,
He might have just overcorrected it a bit, going up to 2 wheels, but better be on the safer side than fluke the car like many others have done yet so far.
but the loss of grip, because only having 2 tires on the ground, might Gabauer past him, and so Gabauer in 5th and Seidel in 6th. Schmidt now on the tail of Young. At least he was after this mistake.
Bankhauser having a big spin. Yeah, Bankhauser going totally the wrong way there.
Is pressed now on the end of St. Chrome Pistons, Serbian Chrome Pistons, sorry. In the slipstream, very much through this full throttle right-hander. It's not the wisest move to be in the slipstream, because the loss of downforce on the front end of the car makes the car unstable. So he wasn't able to put a move here at the end of the bridge straight. They've been in a very promising position half a lap ago.
Andy Kirchhoff dancing all about the back of Vincent Lombardi. Andy Kirchhoff using the grass to try and hold on the back of Lombardi, but it's not successful. He got in that slipstream, as Dylan was saying earlier, and just lost all the downforce. And he's jumped off the back of the car of Lombardi.
Meanwhile, Nathan Lamoth taking over the car from Jarl Tyne. Kirchhoff are now very close. Now going through the chicane, and Lombardi a bit a wiggle out of, at the exit of the chicane, and now the sweeping corners. No place to make a move. And again the loss of downforce forced him to go off the throttle.
Yep, he's you can just see the now Lombardi on the back of Schmidt, but what Andy's doing is he's catching him at all the wrong places, catching him to the second part of the lap, and then when it comes to that corner he's just dropping back and back and back and back, and he's dropped back so far now they're probably going to get back on the back of him for another few laps.
Cabell now trying to make a move from guys, but he should know Schneider's just joined for Snorgert Dragons to take over, so he shouldn't overcook it for the 7 Karat team.
Whoops.
Cabell still behind guys, but he's searching a gap.
Seb Hutchinson in the pits.
Oh, and guys into the wall. Oh! And because he was in the wall, he just missed the pit lane entry. I think, if I saw it right, he was off gas, because off throttle, because he wanted to turn into pit lane.
Sorry to interrupt, Thilo, but side by side between Cattell and Seidel, and Cattell's going to hold it around the outside. That's a brilliant move from Cattell. He held it around the outside. He's gone sideways though on the exit up, but he held it around the outside of the chicane. He cut back down the inside of Seidel and he held it around the outside. Terrific move from Simon Cattell for Epic Racing. They climbed to 5th, not including the pit stops. Oh, well done, Simon. Ooh, Seidel with a very big drift.
Kirchhoff made it around Lombardi.
If he has done a Lombardi makes a mistake. He was on the grass there on the outside of that corner. We're now 1 hour 3 minutes, so that's just over a third of the race gone now. And we've seen Seb Hutchinson in the pits. Geist now in the pits. Randy Young contact! Big contact between Randy Young and Westervac! And that was, oh my god.
That was exactly the same thing happening between Gaybauer and Snogger Dragons. Young wanted to go into pit lane, got off the throttle, and when turning into the pit lane, the following car, and this time it was Young, couldn't react to the decreasing speed and just spun the guy around.
Yeah, well, Randy Young nearly under pressure from Kickstarter. And also talking about the fact that Randy Young was trying to go in the pit lane, is he not going to maybe run the risk of running out of field now? Tommy Osgard, yes, for Legends Racing Team is in the pits, and Kenneth O'Keefe will take over.
Well, I think that teams have a certain degree of reserve fuel.
Randy Young still staying out, so it doesn't look like Randy was actually going for the pit lane. Kenneth O'Keefe takes over the Legends Racing Team car.
Young is in the graveyard at turn 1, gets out of it, nearly gets out of it.
Randy, you lucky man.
That's why I keep calling these gravel traps graveyards.
Golobeck. Golobeck's up. Yeah, for X8 Lublin. Off just before the final complex. Spencer Rose joining the server, so he will be about to take over the car of Randy Young. And Gabauer of 7 Karat is in the pitch, which means that Simon Cattell and Epic Racing are in second place.
Termala is now trying to go around O'Keefe. O'Keefe with the heavy car.
Kahama's in the pits. Our race leader is in the pit lane, which means that Simon Cattell is going to cross the line now, and he is going to lead the first ever lap for Epic Racing in just about anything. That's an accomplishment in itself for those, isn't it?
Epic Racing in lead. Second is Conquest. Third is Raptor Gaming. Fourth are Racing Radicals. And White Tiger Express Metasport on 5th position.
Yeah, we've had a bit of pit stop syndrome here at the 3 hours of Fern Bay. Pit stop syndrome, if you don't know, is where everybody pits and then nobody is battling away for anything. Garbalowski, however, is battling away with Engel. That is Tiger Express versus Excite LRT. And Excite Racing having quite a few problems of being in the pit lane, unlike Dominic Engel. So I'd expect this battle to wash up any time soon.
The good thing about the development of the race is that the caution periods have drastically decreased. We've had in the early stages of the race every 10 minutes a safety car period, and now we're green flag racing for about half an hour. Excite is now on trying to get around the Engel car.
And a little notice for you guys, Saint-Guillaume's Racing has just passed Biathlon of the Grauti racing car of the FXR that started on pole just before. And so the lineup should say that they are in second so far, with Seb Hutchinson driving the car.
Oh, and problems for Tiger Express. Dominic Engel's coming into the pit lane. His teammate joined in perfect timing, but has timed out of the server. Can he get back in time to take the car over? He's in the queue here as well. Jan Laprovot rejoining the server now, so he's going to have to run at the car that Dominic Engel has. We're going to get two drivers on the server now though. No, we're not. Jan Laprovot finally takes over from Engel, so disaster averted for him. Also, here's a bit of an interesting battle. Schneiders here is of Snowgarder Racing is battling, or I said battling away, is racing with Mellon in the FXR ahead. But right in the middle of them is Garbalowski and Mellon pulling into the pit lane very violently, nearly having another incident that we've seen at that pit lane entry. So Schneiders is going to put another lap on Garbalowski. Oh, and Andy Kirchstad hitting the wall, coming along the bridge. Yeah, but he still hasn't pitted, has Andy Kirchstad. He's going a long way here. Kudos to them, but Kenneth O'Keefe will manage to get around them very shortly, I would think. Now we've got a train developing. Now we've got Schmidt, Lombardi, Kirchstadter and Kenneth O'Keefe. And Kenneth O'Keefe, the only one of these two have actually pitted up to now. So Ken is in the perfect position. Lombardi coming in the pit lane now. Kenneth O'Keefe nearly looking outside of Kirchstadter. Kirchstadter holds the outside line, so Kenneth O'Keefe will go to the inside for turn one. And he makes the move, so Kenneth O'Keefe up to third.
Fuberspan. Who is in the car?
And something all involved apparently. Iskra coming out of the pits for Conquest Racing.
And it seems like the Epic Racing team is gonna pit this lap as well.
Yep, David Junt there, replacement driver, is in the service of Simon Cattell, and Epic Racing's lead in the GTL comes to an end. Or not yet, anyway.
Still taking a bit until the rest of the field will pass him.
Schmidt goes into the pit, and so does... Oof, the Conda just crashed into the pit wall trying to go into the pits, but overcorrected it by sliding, and is sideways on the track, just backed up and came into the pit now.
And also looking now, the battle of the people who one's already pitted, one's yet to pit. Bankhouse is still not pitted. Well, he did earlier, I think. No, he didn't. He's still yet to pit. This is a good run out for the for E-Team, but he gets a bit of a slide on out the chicane. He's battling away with Dahl for 7 Karat in the FXR. Not getting much headway though, and he's not being able to pull alongside and take the position. Junior, on his home race, joins the server. He is Jameer Khanman and all that malarkey, so he will take over from Andy Kirchdorfer, who's currently lying in second place. Kenneth O'Keefe now inheriting the lead, with the Raptor racing car and the Epic racing car both having been in the pit lane.
Kirchdorfer now coming in.
Brostick are having all sorts of problems out there at the moment. That Condon just cut. He's been off at just about every corner of the track, I think. It's amazing. Carvalho overtaking, and that maybe for position, I don't know, with timeouts and all that. I'll have to check the track out in a few moments. Nerva coming to the inside as well, and Brostick lets him through over the grass. This really isn't an intelligent drive from Brostick. I don't 100% think sideways from Brostick.
What is he doing?
Well, he's in the pits. No teammate in service, so we're gonna see another hour of him. Well, after the first round of pit stops, Kenneth O'Keefe still still holds the lead for Legends Racing Team. Seb Hutchinson just past
sorry to interrupt, but Schmid is making a move on Junt, and he makes the mistake, and so Snorgard Dragon. No, he goes wide into turn 1, but Epic Racing couldn't profit out of it. So Schneiders for Snorgard Dragons now in 5th position, and Junt Epic Racing in 6th. And the number 15 car is off and left the server. That's number 15. That's been Conda just.
Yeah, so Corn Dodgers have rather obviously returned the race to Dorovic here for Serbian Chrome Pistons, challenging the back of Wand of Raptor Racing for 10th place. Something with the race being in a bit of a low period after 1 hour and 20 minutes. Let's liven it up with a bit of a joke, shall we? We'll keep a Jamaican theme, seeing as we're in sunny Jamaica in this lovely sunset condition. I'm going to challenge you all to not to a challenge basically. I want to see if any of you can say the words beer can without saying bacon in a Jamaican accent.
Beer can.
Beer can. You can't do it. Beer can. Beer can.
Beer
Beer
can.
can. Bank houses off. If anybody could actually say beer can, then please let us know on the NDR IRC channel or in the thread. I'll be amazed if you can. He's got down the back of David Judd. You can't do it, Dennis. Iskra coming down the inside of David Junt, coming at turn number 1. Can he make the move stick, or can David Junt come back around the outside, or cut back? No, he can't. David Junt holding his line behind. So Iskra inheriting 6th place off the Epic Racing team, who just seems to be going backwards now. The late pit stop hindering them in the fight around the top 10, with everybody else having pitted up to now. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if David Junt can hold the pace that Simon Cattell had. Still all over the back of 1 though, for 10.
If you're wondering when Leanne Solfrank is going to get into this epic racing car, she won't race today because her wheel is broken.
Oh. Oh. Anyway. Let's just have a quick rundown of the standings, shall we? Once I get my tracker up, here we go. So after 1 hour 35 minutes and 23 seconds, Kenneth O'Keefe for Legends Racing Team leads the race. Sonic Arms Racing are second, Gravity Racing in third, 7 Karat in fourth, Snowguard Dragons in fifth, Conquest Racing in sixth, Epic Racing in seventh, and Mystery of Speed up in eighth already. Clockwork Motorsports in the highest place, XRR in 9th, Serving Chrome Pistons in 10th, Raptor in 11th, White Dynamo Tigers are 12th, good run from GI Racing in 13th, Maximum up to 14th after having to start in the pit lane, Stun Endurance Races in 15th, Something Awful in 16th after a bit of a torrid time in hour number 1, 18th in 17th, Last Lap Motorsports in 18th, Rinsim Radicals in 19th, Independent Racing made 20th, Tiger Express Motorsports at 21st, lap down, Excite Lublin Racing Team are 23rd, Fubar hold 24th, Corn Dodgers are 25th, Deadline Racing Team are in the pit lane apparently in 26th, Sim Racing Lithuania Team are 27th and retired, so are Zion Team and the Danish Racing Team. Also just noticing here further back for 15th place, Nathan Lamoth being caught by G Junior of Racing Radicals. And now there isn't a Jan Laprovot in the way of this battle. They might start going away, but G Junior, oh, he yielded to Dorp. He decided to do it over the grass, and he's lost a lot of time on Lamoth in that battle. Nigh on wiped out now. So then with our race leader Kenneth O'Keefe about to cross the start-finish line, we've got quite a seasoned racer in this channel in the commentary box, Dennis List. So Dennis, would you like to take us through a lap with Kenneth O'Keefe? Obviously gone a little bit shy on us, so I'll do it in turn 1 there. Nice bit, ooh, a bit wide there, touching the grass and into this very, very difficult chicane. Left, right, very, very quick chicane on the curve, cutting all the road he can. Past the first sector, just under the bridge, is 17.1, not particularly amazing, but it'll do. Then through these long, sweeping, flat-out bends, left, right, into the left, and then using all the road on the outside. Into the right, you've got a big, big, big amount of downforce needed for that corner, otherwise if you're caught behind... We've got a car upside down, we've got a car upside down in the final corner. Who is it? It's J Junior. J Junior of Racing Radicals is upside down in the final corner, and we're gonna have our fourth caution of the day.
Fourth caution of the day. Luckily, this is a timed race.
Oh, Sam Hutchinson! Oh my God, Sam Hutchinson! He overcooked it. He saw the safety car message. Overcooked it coming into the right hander, just entering the last complex of corners, and well, nearly making a mistake there, says Seb. But this will be a godsend for him. It's put him right on the back of Kenneth O'Keefe again. He is quite a fast driver early on, so I expect him to be quite close on the back of Kenneth O'Keefe as we go for a restart.
Lamotte nearly taking out Junior, who's upside down. So nearly hitting the, the upside down car.
Well, you don't really want to be hitting anyone when they're upside down or the right way up, and when one's upside down, then it's a bit easier to miss, to be honest, than one that's rolling along side by side with you. So, well done to Nathan Lamoth for nearly hitting a totally stationary car, or not really on the racing line. I applaud you.
So Keith's in the lead.
Oh, did I miss a caution?
Yes, you did. Caution out for Junior on the outside of what's it called? The last corner.
Turn 1 off reversed.
So the admin team just sorting the grid out overall, and we're going to wait for people for the people laps down overtaking the field. Nathan the Moth, one of those to go through. Also, I think the 9-car Fubar gains their lap back as well.
And Jan Laperwood is hunging his horn at Dahl from 7-car Racing. And there's the IRM car failing to understand the admins telling him to pass on the left side now, so he was falling at the end to the end of the grid and finally now passing back, going on his free lap.
To be honest, I wouldn't have overtaken the queue at that very position, because it was quite nasty chicane, the last one, and it could happen that someone just used the inside line, the left side line, even though everyone should use the right side. We are well past the half distance mark.
Just still waiting for everyone to sort themselves out in the order, which looks like it has been done. So we will probably go one to go. Yes, we will. We will go one to go at the line. And our pottering lunch monkey Joseph Ellis will very shortly be pulling into the pit lane and letting us go green once again for the 4th time. Fifth time.
And at this moment we have been on the 12 laps of safety car, so yeah.
So the Legends Racing Team another LRT here in this series. We've had already the Lublin racing team. Well, they're leading this field, and Kenneth O'Keefe throws it all away.
Okay.
He spins on the safety car while warming up the tires.
Now, I don't want to sound rude here, to be honest, but is that not something that you kind of expect Kenneth O'Keefe to do? Seb Hutchinson will lead the field around and inherit the lead.
So...
I shouldn't be laughing about that. He's actually my teammate, but really, why?
Yeah, well, we're all allowed to have a little bit of a laugh. But anyway, Seb Hutchinson coming to the final few corners. When is he gonna gun it? When's he gonna gun it? When's he gonna gun it? When's he gonna gun it? He guns it. He doesn't gun it. He doesn't. Oh, that's goal! Oh my God! That is carnage! Carnage! Absolute carnage here. Everybody involved. There's somebody flying through. Red flag. Red flag. This. Oh my good God! I've never seen anything as bad as that in Live for Speed in my entire life.
And we have the gravity car that actually flew over the pit wall and is standing inside the pitch right now. And yes, this was quite some impatience coming from back of the grid, I think, which actually just slams up in the back end of Kenneth O'Keefe, which caused all of them to bunch up and crash. Wow.
Yeah, well, the main cause of that was Seb Hutchinson actually being clever. He was on the pole, not the pole rather. He was on the lead position of that on that restart, and he well, he backed off. He didn't put the power on when the green flag came out, which he is entitled to do, and everyone just decided that when they saw the green flag they would floor it, and went through. So it was every single driver other than Seb Hutchinson was at fault, I think. And I'll say that quite broadly, but I think...
Well, I was actually watching from the back of Kenneth O'Keefe's car. It looked... I don't really have an overview of who were behind him, but it looked like he had a small notch coming up to the green flag line, which caused him to back off into the rear end of Gravity Racing, and looked like that started all the schmozzle here, as Thilo would put it.
Yeah, well, brilliant use of the word schmozzle there.
I have my moments.
So rather than looking at that despicable bit of driving, let's put a nice camera on, shall we? There we go. Let's not look at that. Let's look at something else.
We already get reactions in the thread.
Brought to you by Devil Bear. And I must agree with him.
Seb Hutchinson's car looking quite bad when it rolls. It bumps and bumps and bumps. He definitely will get the black flag on the restart to repair his car.
Same for Gravity Racing. He has the right front shock is completely red, and pretty much both on the rear end looks absolutely terrible, in very terrible condition. So he will have to go through the pit lane as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if just about every single driver had to make a pit stop. One looks clear. So does David Junt. Dahl's okay. So is Oscar Rin. Schneider. Quite a few cars actually unscathed, other than a lot of cosmetic damage. Amazingly, everyone landing on their wheels.
Yeah, Kenneth O'Keefe actually made quite a few rolls, as well as Gravity Racing's Björklund also has had quite a few rolls as I saw it.
So the clock keeps ticking down. It's a red flag situation during the race without a total restart. I mean, a total restart at this point of time would be quite
Yep. Hello everybody and welcome back to the 3 hours of Fernbay Gold here from, of course, sunny and sundowning Fernbay. We're currently under red flag here with 1 hour 44 of the race distance gone. And all of this actually being done under the race time limit. So I don't know whether the time of the race will be extended or not. I'll have to check up on that.
If I'm correct, it won't be extended.
This is counting against the race, so time will not be extended. And it's eating up about 20 minutes of this race, so yeah, I suppose it is the driver's fault for being idiots, but there we go.
So it brings us into a sprint race situation for the last hour. And most likely for a new race leader, because Hutchinson and Björklund cars are quite heavily damaged.
And also that Kenneth O'Keefe in the 20 car and Snowguard of Schneider's are going to be moved to the back of the grid for causing the crash before the safety car. Well, on the green flag, but before the finish line actually.
Yeah, well, we're still undergoing the final little bits of preparation and sorting back out of this grid. We'll run through where we stand at the moment regarding positions of people. Seb Hutchinson leads, Björklund is second, Dahl, I'll do team names actually. Sonic Rams Racing are leading, Björklund of Gravity Racing Team are second, 7 Karata third, Conquest Racing are fourth, Ministry of Speed are fifth, Epic Racing are sixth, JJ Weng of Clockwork are seventh, Wand for Raptor is 8th, Todorovic of Serving Chrome Pistons 9th, Tiger Express White is 10th, 11th goes to GI Racing, Carvalho of Maximum Racing at 12th, 13th goes to ER, 14th is Something All, 15th is Last Lap Motorsport, 16th is Independent Racing Mate, 17th is ET, 18th is 17th is WWR, sorry, 18th is ET, 19th is Excite Lublin, 20th 20th is Core Racing after being sent to the back of the grid for their part in that accident.
Legends Racing.
Schneiders of Snowguard are 21st. Yes, Legends Racing Team. Sorry. 21st are Snowguard. 22nd is Fubar, who are.
And another.
Oh, we've got a wreck already. Carvalho and. My God. That's the only words I currently have for this race. Oh my God.
That's why I called it unique, the behavior under yellow today.
Yeah, well, meanwhile, let's take a look at some of the damage through the field after this accident. Look at the back of that Gravity Racing car. I would expect quite a few teams to come into pits now and fuel up and fill up and repair damage for the full rest of the race to finish the race on the set of tyres and the fuel that they put in around about now. Probably expecting at least one more caution. Oscar Hardwick ready to take over the last lap motorsports car. Gravity Racing will definitely have to come in, as you can see now.
Yeah, Gravity Racing's car looks, and another spin. That's
Ministry of Speed. Ministry of Speed.
Ministry of Speed. Björklund in pit lane. Hutchinson stays out.
Yep, that's not a particular surprise.
The thing is, his car's bumping because it's some parts of the car are on track.
Yeah, well, it's very brave of him to stay out. A lot of cars in. Gravity Racing, obviously, to dirt, serving from pistons. Excite lovely. Clockwork getting a very big jump out of the pits. White Tiger Express, Last Lap Motorsports, GI Racing, Legends Racing Team, all in the pit lane.
Iskra goes wide under yellow into the grass.
Yep, drive-through penalty as well for Ojala of GI Racing. Frank Bankhauser and Independent Racing Mates are banging doors in the middle of the track. I don't know what they're doing. There's something strange going on between those two. They're rubbing doors and other instruments on their cars. Somebody not happy.
Well, maybe he knows the rule from the Kia 250 to challenge the position by going side by side, but I don't know why to challenge the position at this point of time, or even why to use the rule from an oval race on a road course race. Maybe it's just a bit of Carl Edwardsing by the Independent Racemates driver.
Who is Carl Edwards?
Was that sarcasm, Mr. Lind, or are you just un-NASCAR educated?
That was sarcasm.
Thought as much.
Who cares about oval racing anyways?
I'm quite a fan. I'm even liking country music at the moment, but let's get off that point. If anyone has in fact seen my Facebook and has seen that I do love country music, you're more than welcome to to comment on that.
Is that where your cowboy hat comes from?
That is where the cowboy hat comes from. Yes, good mental tying in there, Mr. Lind. I'm quite proud. Also, if one more person does in fact ask, is that you with the cowboy hat on? I will in fact go bonkers. It is me with the cowboy hat on. Get over it. We go on the green of the line.
So we will have about 1 hour and 5 minutes, or even less, when they get the green flag. So let's see if they can keep it clean this time, and we'll hope for some very, very good racing in the last hour.
So, safety car Joseph Ellis pulled into the pit lane, and the bouncy Seb Hutchinson will lead us onto the first of hopefully a nice long green flag run.
Hopefully the next flag will be the checkered one.
We go green. Good start from just about everyone. No big crashes. Side by side between Laprovot and 18. Laprovot and 18. I don't know what they're called, so I'll just call them Laprovot and 18. Tiger Express Motorsport.
And Snowguard goes onto the bank of the driver. No, not Snowguard. That's Raptor. And he's dropping down the position very much right now. He's getting passed by... Nope. Oh. Oh. That caused the Estonian endurance racers to go off on the fast part of the track. That was Norm going off the track there.
Yep, Nurma of Estonian endurance races. We're going side by side here between two XRRs, and Zach Weiss gets pitched into the wall. Zach Weiss in the wall for Clockwork Motorsports, and the American little Rotax driver, formerly of Experian Racing. I know him well. Gutting for him in Clockwork.
And O'Keefe's going around serving front pistons.
Contact again!
And
it's Cadoric spin! Kenneth O'Keefe being the courteous young lad he is. Oh, and he's going 3 wide down the inside of Hardwick, and there's someone else spun as well. Excite spun. Scary Rinner challenging the back of Spencer Rose as well. Kenneth O'Keefe going side by side with Henrich, and he makes a move. Stick, good move from Ken. Now Henrich has got Schneiders tucked up behind him, but he made a mistake. He's dropped back.
A flying Canadian trying to get up to front.
Now we'll look at Dahl and Iskra, that's for second. And Iskra's starting to catch the FXR. That's what it is, yes, the FXR of 7 Karat. They won in South City, and they've been very good ever since. They didn't really do a terrifically great race in Kyoto, but they've had a great season already.
But can't make the move. Oh, Rose.
Rose very deep into the corner, missed his braking point massively, looking in his mirrors after Sky Rin. Now he's hit the tyres, and this is going to turn it with three-way battle for 8th place. So they're catching, I don't even want to try that name. Independent Racing Mates is the team. Thilo, maybe you want to try? Shoblom. I'll go with Shoblom.
Shoblom.
Well, here comes Spencer Rose trying to overtake him. And he makes the move quite well. Oh, contact between him. Shoblom to stay in. Oscar winning now, blocking up behind them. Contact between the two of them as well. No need for that through the corner. Spencer Rose comes out as the victor, but a lot of contact there. Sky Rin looking at the inside of Shoblom. That's not a good idea. Bjorklund having to tuck in as well. That was contact there between Sky Rin and the FXR.
O'Keefe nearly turning around Bjorklund.
Oh god, yes, Bjorklund and Kenneth O'Keefe have caught these three as well because of all the backing up. And now there's going to be a big draft down the straight. Bjorklund goes to the inside of a Sky Rin, who goes to the inside of Shoblom. I am scared. Oh, there he comes up! Bjorklund went to the breaking point! Kenneth O'Keefe is a big winner though. Kenneth O'Keefe up to 8th place, but stupid. And the missing his breaking point is Bjorklund, and nearly a disaster, much bigger than that, and somehow managed to not take all 4 of them out. But
and for O'Keefe, the next the next opponent on this ice ring, as he called it earlier, is the American Spencer Rose. So a nice battle, Canada versus USA.
yeah, meanwhile, three-way battle starting to form for 2nd place. We've already seen Dahl and Iskra quite close, 7 Karat and Conquest, but now we've got
O'Keefe spinning Rose. O'Keefe spun out Spencer Rose. So he should get a 2-minute penalty, and USA with power play. Really unnecessary move there.
I personally am not going to comment on that. I'm just going to go straight to the fact that Oscar Rin and Schneiders are going side by side into turn 1. Kenneth O'Keefe's behind it as well. Contact between Rinner and Schneiders, and then Kenneth O'Keefe's going to try and squeeze around the outside. I don't know when it worked! Somehow he gets round Schneiders, getting affected by that as well. But Kenneth O'Keefe, good move, even though he did apparently make contact with Spencer Rose. But yeah, good move from Ken to dishevel Schneiders. But the bouncy Seb Hutchinson, as we're now going to probably call him, with that car that likes to get jiggy on the straightaways and looks really, really weird through the corners, is still with a massive lead of 3 seconds now.
Yeah. And we've got 58 minutes to go here.
Yep, and the pit is not something awful. Mr. Speed and David Junt having to defend from Maximum Racing as they come into turn number 1, and he's not going to be able to hold them off. Good move from Carvalho. If he can hold on to it and not run wide, yes, terrific move. David Junt really didn't have anything to respond to.
Thing is, where did A-Team come from? Because they've qualified quite well down in the grid and are now up to 5th position.
Yep, they were quite lucky with the pit stops early on, like during the safety car after the 2nd of our red flags today. That is, by the way, why this race is overrunning quite slightly as well, just so you all know. You have Kenneth O'Keefe of Legends Racing Team is on the back of Sky Rin. And he's probably going to make a move at some stage. Down the inside now, he comes. Does he make contact? Amazingly not. Lets Ascari through. Ooh, on the curbs there, on the brakes. Making sure he doesn't hit Ascari. And now Schneider's going to come back at him as well. Schneider's with a good run.
Bump draft.
Bumping him.
No.
I don't know whether it was meant, but look at that dive! Nearly hitting the pit wall. He's going to miss his braking point and hit Ascari Win if he's not careful. He doesn't do so. Ken's going to try and hold around the outside. He's not going to be able to do it. Good move by Schneider. It's very daring to go that close to the pit wall, but he did it. He did it well.
I think it's the first time this race that O'Keefe didn't lost a position because he spun the car. Schneider's now taking the run to Rin.
Moves the outside for the left-hander. Kenny, very hard to make a move around the outside there. He's not going to do it. Oh, got a bit of oversteer. Nearly slid into Kenneth O'Keefe, but a brilliant squeeze to the inside of Ascari Win. That was an amazing move from Schneider. I don't know how he pulled that off.
And O'Keefe just said thank you, because he was able to go around Renner too.
Yes, he was, and now he'll have his sights firmly set on the back of Schneider's car.
Schneider's was very lucky there. One tire was directly in his racing line, but just disappeared as he was coming down to the chicane.
Yeah, well, meanwhile, the 9th place car of Independent Racing Mates with a big train behind him.
Siblo trying to keep Excite LRT behind them. But Excite LRT just gets... oh, no, doesn't get. Gravit Racing trying to go around Excite now. Didn't work on the bridge straight. Now coming down under the bridge into the right-handed. Björklund now needs to get a perfect exit out of this chicane. He gets it, but Gabolewski also gets it. Gabolewski directly behind Serblom. But accelerating out of these twisty corners, Serblom has got an advantage with the car. But now out of this fast corner, small contact with the wall. Björklund tries to profit out of this contact of Gablowski, but couldn't make the move stick. That gives Sjöblom a bit more room to breathe. And Heinrich just timed out. Björklund now again directly behind Gablowski. He's now in the slipstream. Gablowski taking the inside line, defending it. Björklund comes around the outside. Late braking point. Contact there. Still on the outside. Was absolutely a brilliant move. At least the planning, but this too late braking could have ended very, very very, very bad for both. Still, Björklund is up in 10th position. On further. Serblom goes wide and Björklund and Gablowski profit out of it.
Yep, so Schloblom dropping dropping 2 places there, down to 11th place.
Uber racing in the wall, entering the straight, the bridge straight.
Yep, and that's turboed out. It's Kevin Newton. Kevin? Yeah, Kevin.
Smith's joining for the next round of pit stops here. So does Williams.
Yep, and 35, that's Ujala of GI Racing making a move on Serbian Chrome Pistons. And oh, he just slows it down into Darvish, loses a place, and he loses it to Hammer as well, who squeezes his way through.
E-team in pit lane. Todorovic now looks at Nerma, tries to use the power of the car. But though it doesn't look too good for him. Now something awful's also in the pit lane for their second and last pit stop, at least their second and last regular pit stop.
Yep, well, meanwhile, just looking up further forward, Dahl and Iskra battling away for the second place. And I've just realised that Seb Hutchinson and Dahl will both have to pit within the next few laps. And Iskra looks as though he's already pitted, and he should be able to make it to the end of the race, so long as nothing particularly bad happens. So Iskra with a great opportunity to take Conquest Racing's first GTAL win. Looking as well like Nerma might be eyeing up a move on a Jala for GI Racing. Up on that curb though, 2 wheels in the XRR, very high centre of gravity in that XRR. Really does want to roll over a lot. Jala catching Hardwick, who's driving for RLN today after leaving Sim Racing Lithuania team just a few days ago. And Jala is actually catching up to the back of Hardwick. He's had a good run, mind, as Hardwick, to get LLM up to 13th place in this race now. One also all over the back of the man who can't be pronounced. Iskra's in the pits though. There's my tip of the day gone. Oh, and Schneider's making contact with Judd, I've just noticed. coming down the coming
And Seb
onto
Hutchinson
the
has a
bridge.
puncture.
Seb's got a puncture.
Yep.
It's all happening here. They've just been squeezed out by everyone. Seb Hutchinson makes it in the middle with his puncture. Everything is going off here. Kenneth O'Keefe catching on Schneiders.
That will put him in third.
Hutchinson.
So that's a pretty good comeback from both Schneiders and Kenneth O'Keefe that were both started from the rear end of the grid coming off the green for the last caution. But to me it looks like the leader of the race, Stahl, in the 7 crate car is not going to make the full race.
Kenneth O'Keefe is taking second. Sorry to interrupt, but yep, Kenneth O'Keefe, good move on Schneiders. He's taking second place back, and he's looking for more. He really is.
Kabara joining, Sadal is coming to pits soon. This would mean Kenneth O'Keefe is in the lead. In fact, well, he will be in the lead.
Yep,
So a pretty good comeback.
Yep, not a bad comeback at all. Meanwhile, in the commentary box now for us, we've got a little chat here with Sonograms Racing. Just got out the car, just fresh out the car. Seb Hutchinson. And Seb, we're going to ask you rather obviously about the one thing that we all care about in this commentary box, and that's the red flag. What happened from your point of view?
You're talking about the first red flag, yeah?
You can do both if you like. I'm sure it can't hurt.
Well, I got the jump on Gahama going down into turn 1, kept it to the inside, and then I think Travis from Something Awful just came steaming down the inside of me on the grass, knocked me sideways. I think he spun and just caused a big accident behind him then. The second red flag, we were practicing starts on the NDR server last night. I was a bit drunk, and I practiced that start, which I did then, and it worked great. But of course, Ken wasn't doing it then, and that time he just messed it up. I got turned around, shoved into the middle of the field, and that's when it all went downhill for everyone.
Yeah, we did kind of notice the all going downhill from everyone. But so after that incident, you had what seemed to us to be quite a bit of damage. You were bouncing around like Billy Io. Did that like hurt your performance at all?
Yeah, I had to change the arbs on the car hugely, like through the really fast right hander with all that dirt on the outside of it. Like the damage made you think that it would keep his grip around there, and then suddenly as you came to the outside, the rear of the car just stepped around, and I nearly lost it a few times there. So I had to bring the rear arb down like 15 clicks more than I usually would have, just to stop that from happening, and that just made the car feel pretty bad. I was surprised though, because I thought the damage...
Spin, Conquest Racing.
I don't know who's driving for them.
Not yet.
Yeah. Project had a spin, and meanwhile we've heard that our new race leader, who's just inherited the lead due to pit stops, Kenneth O'Keefe, has had it off. He's still in the lead by quite a considerable margin to David Junt. I say quite a considerable margin. It's not really quite a considerable margin, but you know what I mean. So yes, Seb, still here, yeah? Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Another 40 minutes to go. What do you think you're gonna? Where do you think you're gonna come with Michael Booth now in the car?
Well, hopefully if he manages the damage and Ken messes up some more like he has been all the way through the race, then hopefully he can bring the win home.
Yep, well, big aspiration. Yeah, well, big aspirations for Sonic Rams Racing now. Thanks a lot for your time, Seb.
Alright, cheers.
Meanwhile, Schneiders have been in the pit lane, so don't wonder why John is suddenly in second position. Björklund overlapping Newton.
Hardwick with a good move on a Jarla there, back for LLM against GI Racing, and he takes 12th place for LLM, which is quite a good achievement. Jarla coming into the pits, so yeah. Koblowski caught up behind the back marker of Newton. He's really struggling. Actually, he's going to lose a lot of time to the car in front of him, Bjorklund, because that Neri's car 36, unfortunately I can't confirm who they actually are, has timed out. Newton finally giving way to Garbolowski.
Well, I think the most dangerous part of this race is the overlapping, and moreover the overlapping of Fuber Racing, who have had quite some offs already in this race. Okay, he's still trying to go around Todorovic, who doesn't want to make room to him. It's a battle for staying on the lead lap from Todorovic's perspective.
Yeah, but from Kenneth O'Keefe's perspective, it's rather an annoyance, and he's defending Todorovic. Oh no, he's not. Sorry. He's yielding. That's defending.
Well, he was defending all the time prior to.
He wasn't. Well, yeah, but it was a bit of a. He caught him at the wrong time and sort of got backed up by it. Not really his fault. David Jones being caught by Ascari Rin back down in for second place. Only a second separates those two now. And White Tiger Express, after a horrible round, it can only be said, at West Hill, are really fighting back. No Jack. That's Conquest. Conquest's gone. Timed out. With Jones coming in the pits.
It isn't Conquest. Oh, yeah, it is Conquest, yeah. But our dear Brazilian mates from Maximum Racing are back.
Oh, Scarlet Rain going over the grass! A Scarlet Ring going for a 100-mile-an-hour picnic there. Sausage rolls flying everywhere, and well, he's back on the road now. And Schneider's coming back at Hardwick. LLM versus Snowguard Dragon, sorry.
Schneider's wanting to get this top 10 result.
Yeah, I mean he's going to fight his corner for it. Probably. I think we'll probably be able to survive the rest of the race. This is all getting very interesting as well from our point of view, because we can see. I wasn't expecting that.
No, and he wasn't braking at all, I think. It was just a move from nowhere, but Harwick now trying to go. Yeah, he's got the inside and got right again. But Schneider's overtaken maneuver was really starting from the land of, well, of nowhere. From the land of the dragons.
Rah. That's Tiger Express. But Schneider's going down the inside.
Again on
this time can he make it stick? It looks like it. He's held his line very well there, Schneider's, and no coming back from that for Harvick.
I'm wondering in my mind a bit if Kenneth O'Keefe is gonna finish his stint after the race has been done. No, not like finish his stint, but if he's actually gonna be able to complete this stint, because he was pitting at about 1 hour and 3 minutes left to go, and I'm actually just sitting here watching his tires lap after lap and trying to figure out if he's gonna make it or not, and I can't really tell anything secure yet.
Yep, well, one man on the track who looks like they won't definitely won't be able to make it on for the rest of the stint on those tyres is Jan Lappervaart. Those tyres are very, very thin, and I think we should probably be watching out for a puncture there, because they are very, very thin now, the front on that Tiger Express car.
Fear not, young Chris, it's only an FXR.
Just see much. Here he's going for another lap. Daring Mr. Lappervaart as ever.
Yeah, I would say it kind of looked like if you rewind almost 2 years back in time, well, 1 year at least, at the NDR summer event.
Yeah, I'm just hearing that according to the tracker, because of the timeout or something like that suffered from the car of Tiger Express, they were officially they've got the lapper, and they are officially leaders, and Kenneth O'Keefe is approaching from behind. This is why, this seems to be why Jan stayed out for so long. That's not 100% confirmed yet. We're just waiting for for confirmation on that, but.
Well, to be honest, it would surprise me to see Jan Lappervaart's Tiger Express Motorsport in the lead, because they haven't been really good this weekend.
Yeah, well, they're in the pits.
He pulls in the pit, yeah.
If they were leading or not, Kenneth O'Keefe goes flying past and they lose that lead. Or that not lead.
So Kenneth O'Keefe having about a 10-second lead so far?
Jan Lappervaart rejoined in front of Michael Booth, and I say officially, this might be for position, it might not. We're still waiting on confirmation if we will get it. That the bouncing Michael Booth car is actually on the same lap as the not bouncing Jan Laprovok car. But he's looking to the inside as Michael Booth nearly. Jan isn't yielding, so he feels that he's on the same lap as Michael Booth. Probably getting information from his team on the track, from the tracker. Michael Booth is actually having a push and fight to try and get past Jan Laprovok. We heard from Seb Hutchinson that damage that Michael Booth has is making the car bounce like a bouncy thing, like a ball. Yeah, that's a good one. Is affecting him. Nolgiek is off on turn 1, yielding to everybody as they come past. He's coming back after a timeout. Michael Booth still struggling and managed to get past Jan Laprovok.
Going a bit off topic now, my ISP seems to be fixed now, so it won't have its scheduled timeout for 1 hour. Finally.
Yay.
On another note, Gravity Racing seems to catch up a little bit to 7 Carat racing team of Gebauer right now, and it seems like there's quite a big gap between them, but he is catching up a fairly bit every lap, about half a second I'd say. And if Jan Laprovok is on the same lap as Michael Booth and Jay Wand from Snowguard or Raptor, I always seem to get those two mixed up. No, that is Raptor Racing. There's a tree car battle for 6th going on.
Yeah, that's what we've been watching rather recently. Jan Laprovok at the head of that. Michael Booth behind and Wand behind that once more, and you can see Michael Booth rather obviously with that quite damaged car.
Gebauer spin.
Yes, Gebauer's been off.
Björklund now in 3rd. Gebauer was gone wide at the exit of the chicane and then just spun. No other car involved.
Yep, so gutting circumstances for Gebauer in 7 Carat to lose the podium position with just half an hour of this race to go. Big mention as well, I've just been tapping through the field and I've noticed. Big... Oh, is it, one disconnects. Oh, sorry. He was out of the car.
Take over.
Yep, that was me getting excited as usual about absolutely nothing, but just noticing, looking through the field, Zach Weiss of Clockwork Motorsports, he's had a great day in that Clockwork car. He left the car down in the dumps, decided not to pit after the red flag, and he's up into 6th now for Clockwork Motorsports, and this is his debut in GTL. Good drive from him.
We have about half an hour left of racing here on Falkenberg Gold. And we have reached the 100 lap mark about Nowish.
Well,
Nowish?
Well, now.
we're on the 100th lap, if you count in the safety car lap at the beginning of the race. And Piroppo was in the wall.
Yeah, very well pronounced there, Thilo. Did a mini tongue twister. I congratulate you on that. Michael Booth catching Jan Lampard very quickly with a big lock up on the front. He's locking the front up quite a lot. I don't know whether that's related to the damage of the car or whatever, but he's just popping away there. It's so amusing to watch Michael Booth's car.
It's funny how I don't get any of these hydraulic movements of this car. Quite sad about that, actually. Without some of the excitement for me, but I guess I have my flaws.
Yeah, well, let's just... I'll give you a mental picture of it. Matey, think about Jay-Z... No, don't. Think about Michael Booth, black, with a baseball cap on the wrong way, with his hand on the steering wheel at the top and his arm out the window with banging tunes on. That is what you would expect. Somebody is off and it's Conquest Racing. And Michael Booth really close to Jan Lampard, nearly making a look.
I'm thinking Dr. Dre featuring Snoop Dogg with Still DRE.
Piroppo off again.
Same spot.
Oh, and Smith, Eric Smith! Time's out for something awful. Disaster for SM. Not particularly a good day for them as well. Contact with Kenneth O'Keefe early on. Contact with somebody else very early on, and well, it all went downhill from lap 1 for them. So then we've got race director Jonathan Palmer in the commentary box with us now. And Jonathan, we've had 2 red flags today, I'm sure you're rather aware. How have you felt that the standard of driving today has been?
It's kind of been good, kind of been bad. It's kind of standard Fern Bay. There's no wind, so they can't use that crutch as an excuse. Some drivers have been doing well, and some have just been doing some silly stuff. I haven't seen much of it just because there's so much to watch, and I've been talking with some of the stuff that we've been looking through, but yeah, I can't really say much there.
Is it random you're looking for?
Yeah, I guess that would work. I figure one thing I should also do is explain what happens if there's a red flag for an accident. It's actually now in the rules, it's differentiated between if the server fails or if there's just a major crash on the circuit. If the red flag comes out in the first 15 minutes of the race, we can do a complete restart. If it comes out after that, it's just suspending the race. Timing, scoring doesn't stop. The clock continues to count while we sort through whatever we need to sort, whether it be the order, or who caused it, or whatever. Red flag can come out if there's a major incident blocking the course, or a significant number of the field involved. The rules say 80%. The actual range will be somewhere between if there's at least 70%, or what happened on that restart. That's what would bring up the caution, or the red flag. That is going to be why we had that red flag, because it started basically third car back, and everyone else kind of piled in. Everyone flew in, and it would have been more than probably a safety car would have handled. So red flagged it, even though it wasted about, 15-20 minutes off the clock. More like 10-15, I think. I don't remember, but that's why we did it. And yeah, we have the right to do that, and it actually kind of saves time anyway, instead of having to go to the end race lobby screen. I know it kind of kills some drivers' tires, but in that way, it's still just a little better, a little more realistic anyway.
Yeah, well, while you've been saying that, Jan Labramont has overtaken Zach Weiss for sixth place. Pardon me. Michael Booth is eyeing up to do the same. Then we'll Spencer Rose off as well, but we'll come off the fact of all the red flags and the crashing and the awful driving standards, or whatever you want to say, or you know, all that malarkey. We'll think more about the racing. You know, how much of the racing have you seen, and how do you think it's changed? You know, that question went down.
The race, I'm working on waiting for the next fail to happen, or going through all the previous fails and just making sure everything's going fine. I'm having a few problems with the tracker update mechanism not working quite well. That's probably just my browser and the fact that Sod's Law loves me today.
And sorry to interrupt there, but the Conquest car was out in the grass for quite a while, driving really slow around, but he has quite an amount of hot tires on this car right now.
And Schneider's just caught up with Nurme from Estonian Endurance Races, challenging for, I think, if Laprovod is on the lead lap, 9th position.
Yeah, Michael Booth on the back of Zachary Weiss, yeah.
You read my mind, son.
That's because I'm psychic, Dennis, have you never realised?
Well, it crosses my mind sometimes, I must say that. But yeah, I agree with Deco on that note.
Yeah, well, after that note, Schneider's going down the inside of Nurme now in turn number 1. Can he make the move stick? He's done it quite a few times today. Schneider's some very good moves in turn 1. He's done it again, up to 8th place. Good move. 9th place, because of Jan Lapperod, who's mixing everything up in my head.
And only, yes.
Slow car there of Sean Williams as Michael Booth, Schneider's, Nurme, and Zach Weiss all passed through on their way there on the lead lap still. And Sean Williams isn't. But that's a given really, I suppose, sometimes. Especially with the day that E-Team have had.
Michael Booth will struggle to keep Schneider's behind him.
And now Michael Booth on the back of Zach Weiss. Schneider's isn't far behind either. Michael Booth, he's been lighting up a move on the Clockwork Motorsports car for quite a while. He's never been able to get close enough. Now might be his best opportunity. He looks to the inside. Zach Weiss turns in as normal, and Michael Booth looks a bit of an idiot and loses a lot of time, which means the Schneiders can probably make a move, probably if he can hold on to the back of him anyway, coming down the front stretch. Just you watch if you don't believe me.
You'll see if Chris...
On the inside, he tags him!
That was, well, I don't know what to call that, if that was, unawarement of Michael Booth, that Schneiders was on his side there, but...
well, there was a good thing and a bad thing about that. The good thing is let Michael Booth catch on to the back of Zach Weiss and he might make a move, but he's on the grass. Grass is not for cars, grass is for picnics and other recreational events. Michael Booth really doesn't want to be there.
At the rate that this race has been going, I would rather not have any picnic of some sort of fed by goats grass any day.
And Booth's off again.
Oh, he's off! Big style, big style! And Seb's prediction of, look at us, we're gonna win, but not in a Scouse accent, in a Welsh accent, has all gone wrong. He's even less psychic than me, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and there's somebody sideways off the bridge.
Car's upside down.
Upside down, somebody upside down, the empty car, it's out with 15
That
minutes
is
to
Sean
go.
Williams of E-Team.
It would be Sean Williams. Sean Williams of E-Team. He doesn't have a nearly get collected by the outside car. That was very, 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 very close.
That was on the edge to dangerous right there.
That was a very, very close encounter. Boothie honking away at Sean Williams. Don't know whether that's to thank him for getting everybody bunched back up again or to have a go at him for having rolled with 15 minutes to go.
And this is where the race gets exciting, because now everybody's on the, well, not everybody, but everybody in the top 10, or what's its name, will be on the same lead lap. So we'll see if Ken can hold off the lead for the last 10 minutes. We will, when we go green again.
Yeah, meanwhile we're going to have a little bit of niceness like they do in quite a few other
Safety car, you're picking up car 20.
motorsport.
Car 20 is coming into sector 3 now.
There you go, Jonathan Fowler, our race director, telling the safety car when to pick up the leaders. And the leaders are coming into the sector where he should be going.
Safety car,
right about now.
go. Safety car, go. Safety car, go.
Hey, well on. Quite a few cars are going to have to gain their lap back, so we might not even be racing with 10 to go.
This is going to be very, very exciting indeed. And Oskari Rina would be in second after Kenneth Keith, then would be Bjorklund, Gebauer, Gabalowski, and Schneiders, Noam, Michael Booth, and
You've missed out-
Mike Seidel.
You've missed out Jan Laprovot, who lines up in 5th place as well. No, 6th place. Yes, 6th.
Sixth place. Okay.
Yeah. 7th will be Snowgard, 8th will be ER, Michael Booth will be in 9th for Sonic Realms. That's a bit of a save for him. Save for Clockwork in 10th, obviously being somewhere where I've missed, being taken over by Zach Weiss. You know, this closing the field up massively. Peropo squeezing around the outside. Kevin O'Keefe not really listening to the admin instructions to say stay to the right hand side of the track. Or has there been an admin instruction to stay to the right of the track? There hasn't, so.
There it has. Left side please for the overtake.
That's why you learn how to read like I don't, rather obviously. It really does help, kids. Don't smoke either. Mr. Lind.
It's intelligence, people. Intelligence.
Safety car to rate administration, please confirm the my maximum speed.
120. 120k, 75 mile an hour-ish.
Roger.
Thilo Falkenberg communicating with race admin Thilo Falkenberg, who is both commentator and safety car now after Joseph Ellis decided he would go for his T. Conquest will go past the field. So will Spencer Rose eventually.
Thilo Falkenberg gets PB.
Yep, pedal to the metal. Thilo there in the safety car. Kevin Newton should, for Fubar Racing, should get one, but he's catching on the back of this very late, so I don't know whether he'll manage to get around the field in time.
All cars have been weighed around. Car 3-5 was the last car on the lead lap at top.
Oh, Newton spins! Newton spins! Nearly. So all of the drivers are being waved around the field, so we will go green in a lap. That was rather enthusiastic than what I expected.
Pull into that alcove.
So we go 1 to green around about now. And Kenneth O'Keefe will lead us away for the 7th green flag period of today. Which is quite an amazing... Thilo. There we go. Thilo running a bit wide through turn 1. Confusing Kenneth O'Keefe somewhat. Pulled alongside him, but we're all back happy now.
I think he's on an oval set.
Yes, he is, without any doubt at all. 250
For everyone's information, car 3-0, even though it's not on the lead lap in game, they timed out on the pace lap, and we credited them a lap in the tracker, so they are technically in the fight for position. They are between 0-3 and 21, so they are in 6th position. 7 car spun, 7 car spun.
Gabauer spins in the safety car. And the car of 7 Karat goes from, I think it was definitely top 5 to now and last in all of 1 corner.
Safety car pull in the alcove, there you go.
So Kenneth O'Keefe will lead us onto the green flag run, and watch Ascari Rin. He's got that turbo, he'll be spooling it up like mad. He may get a good restart compared to Kenneth O'Keefe. We'll all have to see, because he controls the pace now as we come out of the last few corners. Waiting for Ken to gun it. He guns it now.
Oh, Ascari was not ready for that.
Big defending from Jan Lapova. For Falklands, they make contact! Contact's needed himself in the gravel! This could be another safety car! If he gets stuck, this could be another safety car! He's moving! He's moving! Come on, Sneeders, you can do it! Come on! That's it, well done. Todorovic backwards as well.
It looked like to me that the Ministry of Speed car actually passed before the finish line, but I'm not here to tell that. Looked like it though. Nurma
and Ministry of Speed and Nurma and they are going side by side. He's going to make it 3 wide, going down the inside of Jan Lomero. That's not going to fit, but it does. He's gained 2 places in 1 straight. That's a terrific move from Ministry of Speed, and it pushes them up to 4th. Nurma takes 5th off Jan Lapova, and it's a terrific move for Ministry of Speed. Somebody off and they're a lap down. It's Newton.
And there's a big...
But now the Ministry of Speed car squeezing past Oscari Wayne. They make contact again. Ministry of Speed car going...
The right-hander, the 90-degree right-hander.
It's all going off here. More contact between Ministry of Speed as they squeeze past Oscari Wayne and make them maybe stick there up to 3rd place now. Oh, contact between winner and Nurma. Michael Booth overtakes Sadel. Sadel comes back winning. Oscari winning. Now watch for Nurma as he's going to try and capitalise on Jan Lapova not being as quick as him, but he's going to go over the grass. No, he's not.
Ministry of Speed is going for 2nd position now, passing Gravity Björklund. And he tries around outside, and he actually gets to the right side of it, and he's still 2 by 2 going up to long left-hander here.
Contact between Nurma and Booth further forward, and we do apologise for that slight...
Yeah, he got it. Ministry of Speed in 2nd.
Yep, and a terrific charge through the field for Ministry of Speed. We do apologise for the camera problems that I managed to press the wrong button. Then didn't notice that I pressed the wrong button. 5 minutes to go.
That is about 3 laps.
Maybe 4.
Yep, Nurma being put under pressure by Tomla. He's going to come down the inside at turn number 1. He's going to make the move stick. Good move for GI Racing. Have really exceeded themselves today, in my opinion. Piroppo is off in the chicane. Piroppo off in the chicane. He's crawling back on. He's misplaced the tyres. There's also somebody else off there. Sadel catching on Oscari Rin for 4th place in this race. No, sorry, for 5th.
What I want to notice, by the way, if you haven't noticed that, is that actually looks like 32 is catching Ken. He has better tires. He made a more recent pit stop, and he has more tires to use than Ken.
Yes, he just won half a second so far over Kenneth.
Yep, on this lap alone, the Ministry of Speed car was 0.7 of a second quicker than Ken. Sorry that the maths took that long. But yeah, if he can capture a rapid enough rate and Ken maybe makes a little mistake, this could be Ministry of Speed for the taking. Björklund has quite a gap until Jan Lapova, who's in 4th place for Tiger Express, and then it's Rin, Sadel, and then Michael Booth and Tomala making a fight through the field. He's doing quite well at it, actually. Kenneth keeps making some mistakes now. He's feeling uneasy. He's dropped a wheel twice through that double corner.
And that are another
3/10 of a second slower than the last sector.
Half a second that lap.
Oh, come on, Kenneth. Pull it together. Oh my god.
You shouldn't have told him to.
The conquest is off in sector 3 in the final few corners. Michael Booth has been overtaken by Tom. Minister of Speed still quicker than Kenneth O'Keefe.
Even though they had made a mistake.
Ooh, big mistake from Minister of Speed. Very sideways leaving that corner. Sideways again. He's overheated his rear tyres. He's overheated his rear tyres. Ministry of Speed are struggling on those rear tyres.
I think it's going to be one to go to the line.
He's not going to do it. Ministry of Speed.
No, it'll be one to go.
One to go at the line.
Ish.
Close.
Will we? Or two.
No,
Oh, it's going to be very close. So unless Kenneth falls all the way back to Ministry of Speed, it will be one lap. Well, this will be the last lap if he manages to slow down enough.
Oh, the Minister of Speed car is really struggling on the rears.
exactly the same time at that first sector.
Yep.
Oh yeah, well.
But Kenny
What
is
we also will
really,
keep in mind is that there are a couple protests that are still outstanding that involve the number 20 car.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yes. They came right around just after the red flag, and we haven't had time to go through them, and we don't go through them in the last hour until after the race by default. "15 seconds left. I think we're good. This will be the finish."
then he has to use his NOS now if he wants to make it a 2-lap
5,
finish.
4, 3,
3,
2,
2,
1,
0. Yes, Kenneth O'Keefe wins! 8.9 tenths of a second past the 3-hour mark. Kenneth O'Keefe takes the win for Legends Racing Team. Second goes to a very, very good fight through the field. Finally for Ministry of Speed. Bjorklund takes third for Gravity Racing. That's your top three. Meanwhile, Jan Laprivot coming through to fourth in his FXR. Fifth goes to Ascari Rin and White Tiger Express Motorsport. Clockwork take fifth. JI Racing with a great performance up in seventh place. Gabauer in eighth. Michael Booth in ninth, and Mellon rounds out your top 10. Simon Cattell setting the fastest lap for Epic Racing. So then 3 hours of racing gone, 119 laps, and Kenneth O'Keefe and Legends Racing Team take their first GTAL win. The renamed core team, well done to them, and we'll go around the commentary box right now. We'll start with Thilo. Thilo, your final thoughts?
Well, it was an entertaining race from my perspective. We've had everything from, I think, in the end, 6 cautions, 2 red flags, a total restart. There was everything for a nice, entertaining family evening. I hope you have had it all out there. Now seriously to the race. It was, yeah, interesting to see the Legends Racing Team in the end leading so clearly. I mean, St. Wilms and Gravit Racing have been competing for the lead at the beginning, but in the end it shouldn't be. So In the end, the core follower team is the deserved winner, although Kenneth, for my taste, did too many mistakes during the race.
Yep, and Dennis, your final thoughts?
Messy race, but well, the last 10 minutes made up for the long wait, at least. But really, really exciting race here the last 10 minutes.
And any final thoughts to add to that for you, Jonathan?
No, not really. I gotta go clean up the tracker database here quickly and clean that up.
Yep, well, we've seen some ups and downs today. We'll go through the final, the provisional standings. The Legend Racing team take the win. Ministry of Speed finish in second place. Gravity Racing in third. Tiger Express in fourth. Clockwork Motorsports in fifth. White Dynamo Tigers sixth. GI Racing in seventh. Seven Karat in eighth. Sonic Realms Racing are ninth. Independent Racing made 10th. And Stony Endurance Races are 11th. Snowguard Dragons are 12th. Epic Racing 13th. 14th place belongs to Serving Chrome Pistons, and Last Lap Motorsports take 15th place. Raptor Racing finish 16th. Excite Lublin are 17th. White Rock Radicals finish 18th. Something Awful finish with a bad day at 19th. Conquest Racing in 20th. Maximum Racing 21st. Fubar finish 22nd. E-Team retire, and so do Racing Radicals. Cohen Dodgers, Deadline Racing, Sim Racing Lithuania Team, Zion Team, and the Danish Racing Team. They are provisional results for today's 3 hours of Fern Bay Golden. We've seen some ups, we've seen some downs, we've seen just about everything. There are 2 red flags, God knows how many cautions, and some unbelievably exciting green flag action. So from me, Chris Wilkinson, and from everyone who's contributed here on the broadcast, thanks to all the drivers as well, with Thilo Falkenberg, Dennis Lind, and Jonathan Palmer in the comment box. So from all of you, thank you very, very much for joining us. We'll see you again in 1 month for the GTAL. Good night.